Hi there, English students. This is your professor, Michael Bloomingberg. I want to welcome you to week 4 in our online class. And the purpose of this video is just to make sure you understand what is due this week, which is the rough draft of your essay in conjunction with the peer review session. Since my English 101 and 102 students are both peer reviewing this week, I'm filming this video in the 101 Blackboard shell. So if you're in the 102 class, it's basically the same type of setup. Of course, your essay is different than the one my 101 students are writing about. So from the Blackboard page, you're just going to click on course content. You'll see that the week 4 folder is now available for you. You will click there. As always, start with the course worksheet. I'll just quickly pull it up as a PDF, and you'll see that your assignment, is to review the assignment sheet as necessary, and that assignment sheet for the essay is in the week 3 folder, and of course also review the peer review assignment sheet. Now, the work for this week is twofold. First of all, you need to have your rough draft of the essay complete it before Wednesday at 11:59 p.m. because before that date, Wednesday, 11:59 p.m., you need to go ahead and submit that in the discussion board. So that's your due date for the initial posting this week of your essay. Now, you are also required to provide feedback to 2 of your classmates, that is, to read their essays and provide critical feedback according to the peer review sheet. So that is what you're working on this week. Now, luckily, the peer review guideline sheet is the next thing that you'll find, so it's available as both a Word document and a PDF. So we'll just click on that and pull it up. So the big thing is, and as I put on the sheet, I think oftentimes there's a tendency to look at criticism in a negative light. And certainly nobody wants to be criticized. But when it comes to academic writing and what you're trying to achieve as a student at the college, it's important. And it's not a bad thing when we think about criticism. It's how do we improve our work. So focus on this template when you're looking at your classmates' papers. First of all, make a list of all the positive areas of the essay you enjoyed. Explain why these areas worked well in your classmate's paper. You can start out by making a bullet list, then adding a paragraph to the end to say, these areas worked well in the essay, to show whatever it is that you're trying to let your classmate know is working well. And by the way, I do recommend that you put this on a Word document, not just put it directly in the discussion board for reasons we'll talk about in just a moment. Areas to improve. Make a list of some trouble areas in the essay. Remember that you are qualified to speak your point of view. In fact, it's really great for your classmate to get your point of view because you're working on the same assignment. So we all have different viewpoints, and your viewpoint's totally acceptable as long as you're being specific and giving directive points to where you're seeing the areas. You are qualified to give that feedback, so don't feel self-conscious about it. We're all looking to get better here. Feel free again to give specific direction to the trouble areas and conclude with a small paragraph stating, working on these areas may improve X, Y, Z in the paper by. So really, you need to dig deep in these peer reviews. It's not just, hey, I liked your essay and good job. I mean, not that that's not good to hear, but it really doesn't provide helpful comments that your classmate's looking for. So try, if possible, too, not to review an essay that someone else has already read. That is not going to always be possible, by the way. That's why I said if possible. I guess the point of the matter is, if you see 6 in a row that someone has looked at that paper, and you get to a 7th and you see nobody's looked at that one, go for that one. Go for the one that nobody's looked at. That's really what you want to do. Okay? So last thing is, let's go to the discussion board. And there you see the, I'm going to just move myself over a little bit. you'll see the specifics for the rough draft and peer review. Again, you're posting your rough draft no later than 11:59 Wednesday, and then you need to come back throughout the week to review at least 2 of your classmates. Somebody will inevitably ask me, is there a length requirement for the feedback to your classmates? There is not, but I'm looking for development. I'm not just looking for 1-2 bullet points. Really dig in deep, provide a few bullet points for things you see that are working well, things you see that need to be improved, and don't forget to attach that little paragraph at the end of the improvements and the things that are going well so that you can be more specific to your classmate. Your replies, by the way, again, are due by Sunday, 2 of those this week. To conclude the video here, just a couple other things. Please note the statement I put on the discussion board as well as the Start Here part of our Blackboard page about civility. Treat your classmates the way you yourself would want to be treated with your comments. So please don't say, that sucked, or your essay's terrible. That's really not going to do a lot to build your classmate up. Again, if you think there are trouble areas, certainly communicate those and explain why you see them as trouble areas, but be nice to one another. And I've put kind of some things to keep in mind there in terms of civility in the directions. And again, you can find the same info in Start Here. All right, last thing I want to mention, and I think I sent an announcement about this, is that I have added a new tool on Blackboard called Smart Thinking. Please check that out. It is for online tutoring. So what you do is you just click it, and it'll give you the option to attach your essay and allow enough time for the online tutor to review. So if you're looking to get feedback this week, I would go ahead and submit it as soon as possible to get that feedback. And it's just a great program for you to use if you're not locally on the Somerset or Laurel campuses. You can use that as an online student. Oh, one other thing I wanted to mention. So let's click on the thread, and so you're going to click Create Thread, and you might say my essay 1 or something like that for your subject line. I would just put in the message box, please see my essay. I look forward to your feedback. And what I would do then is hit Browse My Computer to attach your essay. I don't recommend posting your whole essay in the discussion box because it's going to get kind of messy. It's difficult for your classmates to read it that way, but it's much easier for your classmate to just click the attachment and open it up and be able to have his or her own Word document to type on as they're reading it. Also, I would recommend moving forward, I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but I would recommend always typing all discussion work in a Word document. That way you can spell check it. And also, sometimes when you just type straight to the box and hit submit, Blackboard can get a little glitchy. It could lose your work, and then you got to go back and retype it. Whereas if you've already typed it on a Word document and saved it, if it glitches out on you on Blackboard, you just reopen your Word document from where you saved it, and you can just submit that way. So anyways, I hope that makes sense to you. And again, if you have questions, feel free to let me know. And it's important to end this video by noting that this is a rough draft. So the feedback that you get this week will allow you to make changes heading into next week in terms of the due date of the final draft of the essay. Last thing, in fairness to all of the students in the class, I probably won't post very much on this week's discussion board. I want to save my critical review for the final draft. So this exercise is really for you and your classmates. And my biggest fear is if I start at posting feedback for somebody's rough draft, I just wouldn't have enough time to do it for everyone. So as much as humanly possible, I try to treat all my students fairly and equally. So for those reasons, I probably won't post much on the discussion board. I may post an additional resource just in terms of thinking about peer review, but I probably won't comment much on anyone's paper since it is a rough draft, and that's sort of the job of the class this week. So I hope that makes sense. If you have questions, as always, feel free to email me. Good luck this week. Give it your all. Really dive into a couple of your classmates' papers, and yeah, I think you'll find it beneficial. So email me if you have questions, and good luck as you're working through week 4.